Oh, it's not that it was shown to kids, it's that it didn't lend itself to a family-friendly environment, and there were concerns that the game could potentially be rated AO because of the content. Because the problem was is that the game had some advertisement on it saying that, you know, the whole dating simulator across the RPG, have kids, the kids were going to be your next, next player. But the problem with this is that if there was an actual, the way the, excuse me, I'd like to go this way, please, thank you. The way these things actually work out is that if sex in a video game, it's fine. If you control the sex in the video game, all of a sudden, it's AO. It's an adult-only game, and basically no place except for porn shops sell adult-only games. So if this game spontaneously got assigned adult-only because of the content, we wouldn't be selling it, therefore it needs to not be on our shelves. That was the general idea. Remember, that's why, you see in, like, Grand Theft Auto, for example, you do see sex, but you're not controlling it. It happens, you see that it happens, but you are not the person that's doing it. So I think there was some concern that it was going to be AO, and one of the reasons I bought it was I was curious, like, what did the developers think they could get away with? What was the game actually going to be like? And it turned out that, no! Do not make me lose the catsuit. It turned out there was basically nothing in it. Like, okay, I just did the same thing twice. I'm so glad those spikes were retracted. But, there was nothing in it. The stuff that was shown on the, God damn it. The stuff that was shown on the box was literally all there was. Okay, I'm just gonna wait. Okay, that is number 1. Cool. I haven't missed any yet. But what you also gotta remember is that a lot of parents tend to blame the video game stores for their kids getting an M-rated game. So, there was a... Okay, you know what? I am just curious enough to go look. You gotta remember that a lot of parents, if they walk in and their kid gets an M-rated game, whose fault is it at the end of the day? Is it the parents' fault for giving the kid the M-rated game? Absolutely not. It's the employee's fault for selling the kid the M-rated game. So, there's this gigantic issue with M-rated games, and it causes lawsuits. It really does. So it's one of those, like, yeah, we're just not going to even risk this being a thing that could happen. Oh, hey, if I hold B, I go faster. That's been a thing this entire game. Why would I think it didn't apply to the Karibo skate? Okay, come on. Those spikes are still up. Okay. I see. You know what? I'm curious. Hold up. And the biggest problem is, WannaGirl, that a lot of parents disagree with you about the, boobs exist, therefore that should be fine for the kid to see. Like, a lot of parents get very snippy about that. Just take that, thank you. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of kind of curiosity as if Conker's Bad Fur Day, if it was bad. If Conker's Bad Fur Day was made today, could it have gotten away with some of the crap it got away with? And I'll be honest with you, I don't think it could have. I mean, that being said, they did do a remake, which had all the same stuff in it, but still. I mean, censorship is... You're right. Bad. The censorship is absolutely illogical. censorship is illogical, but one thing you gotta remember, though, is that we're not necessarily talking about censorship. We're talking about control of content that children have access to. That's the... Oh, got to do some? Okay. But that's... Oh, crap, we're not gonna make it now. But that's the thing. We're not talking about censorship. We're talking about control of what children get to. They didn't go... God damn it. They didn't go, you can't have this game. They said, Banjo-Kazooie was made today, and it was not that good. By most accounts. I'm talking about Ukulele. But yeah, like, it's not censorship. It's... The question is, should this be on standard shelves? You know? There's a limit to what the, I thought you were talking about Banjo-Kazooie. Okay. Continue. But yeah, it's not a question of censoring what's in the game. It's just saying this may not be suitable for, you know, kids, and if it isn't, it should probably not be on the shelves of the store. Okay, so how do I... Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! I don't feel that was close. I don't think that was close. I just didn't get the timing right. Okay. About 5 seconds. Come on! Okay, we got it. No! God damn it, these blockers. On the one hand, I agree with you, Water Girl. On the other hand, I really seriously don't. The problem is that with a lot of kids, if you introduce them to a concept too early without the understanding of how it works or why it works, it's not gonna help. So, like, that just... I mean, the end result, I have to ask you, is at what point do you say, okay, kids should not see this? Is it bare breasts? Is it outright porn? Is it... You know... Okay, apparently I miscounted. But at what point should the kids not see, you know, stuff? And also at what age group? Because, you know, you gotta remember, I had parents buying Grand Theft Auto 5 for their 6-year-olds. And I would tell them, look, this is what's in it. Like, there's outright sex. You're going to, you know, you're going to strip clubs, things like that. Do you consider that to be appropriate? I really don't think that censorship is the same thing as controlling what a child sees. Because there are some stuff that I think a child should not see. And it's not a question of, like, censorship or anything like that. It's, for me, it's more a question of preserving the innocence of children. There are some things they should just not have to deal with. They should not be allowed to be a kid for longer. Like, for example, there was a article that just went, I am so bad at this game. but there's an article that was just released that some kid is about to do, or is currently in the midst of a First Amendment lawsuit against his school district. The reason why he's doing it is that he wore a shirt that was pro Second Amendment, so, you know, pro gun rights, to his school. The school asked him to take it off, and he did, but they're very upset about it. So they're saying the school, the school inhibited his First Amendment right to speak about the Second Amendment. Now, thing is, I think this kid is in 8th grade. So he's like, what, 13, 14? The first question I have to ask is, how much... No, let me... Okay. First of all, how much of an opinion does a 13 to 14-year-old really have on the Second Amendment? And the second question I have to ask is, if the school outright says it's a school uniform, that the issue is dress code. But, like... either his parents are using, or in my eyes, I don't know enough about the case to really speak about it, but as an example, in my eyes, either his parents are using him as a front to fight their own battle, or, in my opinion, this kid is being involved in stuff that's a little bit over his age. I'm gonna have to go back and look, and I know 8's involved. I can't remember if it's 8th grade or 8 years old. But it's just one of those things. Is that necessary? On the flip side, I'll devil's advocate this, though. On the flip side, sex ed. So, a lot of kids, they don't see sex ed until middle school, sometimes high school. Like, sex ed is a thing that takes a long time to show up for some of these kids. And the sex ed is also, it's just a flat, That's terrifying, Gia. Their sex ed's really flat. It's, this is a penis, this is a vagina, this is what they do, move on. That's it. But I remember that in my school district, in 5th grade, we were in sex ed. Now, it was fairly basic. You know, it was, I remember distinctly because it was the funniest damn thing. So they split the guys and the girls, which, okay. And, god damn it, I was trying to jump, it just didn't happen. So they split the guys and the girls, and what they did is they showed us videos of kind of how our parts would work. And the most hysterical thing for a bunch of of 5th grade boys, they showed us this video that was kind of outlining the male anatomy. But the problem was the video showed a picture of a flaccid penis, and then there was this kind of fade out, and then suddenly it was an erect penis. And it was the funniest damn thing any of us could see, because, you know, it's 5th grade. Most of us are not even going into puberty yet, so it's one of those, like, no, you can't possibly be serious. This is real? Hey, can we see it again? And seriously, we made the teacher replay the video, like, I think 3 times, just to see that animation again, because it was so, again, it wasn't as much an animation as it was, it wasn't as much an animation as it was just a fade from one graphic to another, but it was it looked so damn stupid to all of us. But I do remember, as part of this, the 5th grade male teacher, he gave us what he called his tips. And they were just small, kind of, you're gonna be an adult, here's some things. And they weren't huge. But, like, one of them was, you know, when you're shaving for the first time, don't use aftershave. Which makes sense, because you're shaving for the first time, you are definitely gonna cut yourself. And putting straight alcohol on your face when you have a cut is generally gonna give you a really bad experience. But there was this, you know, little bit of context. So one of the arguments that I've seen coming up is that when it comes to sex ed, first of all, how early should you start? But also one of the things that was coming up was how, and this is an amazing conversation to have while playing a Mario game, but also how much context should be in there. Like, where should the conversation go? Should you be talking about, you know, just sex? Should you be talking about gender relations? Should you be talking about, you know, responsibilities? You know, and so the question becomes, okay, how young is too young for these concepts? Hey, that worked. Neat. Okay, that was wrong. The darker games are serious enough. Damn, it's the first time I haven't, like, one-shotted one of these. But, you know, so at the end of the day, the question is, how early is too early? And I think there is a point where... it is too early to talk about some of these things. You know, again, kids should be allowed to be kids. There should be, like, some, you know, some innocence that lasts for a while. But, also at the same time... Oh, crap. Damn. But also, I think on the flip side of that is that, you know, they need to know enough. Too philosophical? Yeah, you might be right. I mean, this shit comes up, man. Okay. Is that... Okay, so that's what it wanted me to do. Okay, cool. What am I doing here? Just gonna... Screw that. Screw that noise. But yeah, so I think, you know, when we're talking about a video game store where, you know, I think at the time, the Wii was the big game system. So we were seeing a bunch of, you know, parents and kids come in. So I think the idea was, okay, if we have a game that, you know, has too much of this adult content in here with these kids, maybe we should take it off the walls. And if it turned out to be truly adult content, like, you know? Okay, so the good news is I have the ability to do stuff. Aha! Get wrecked, nerd. I don't think I necessarily want that. Okay, so we got this. What does this do for me? Why do I care about this? I mean, that makes sense. Okay, that's the first one, too. That's nice. Okay. I mean... I don't think I want this. Okay. So the question is, which one has the item that I'm gonna need, like, right now? So there's the green star. No, 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 we were doing so well. Doing so well. Okay. Okay, so I